All right, here's a great idea for a grocery store bouquet. Rather than taking it home and just giving it to somebody wrapped in plastic, why not go the extra mile and do just a little bit extra to make it something special? So here I have an ordinary bouquet. I got this at the grocery store. It's just a mixed arrangement. It's got a little bit of Gerber daisies, calla lilies, some roses, some filler. It's pretty typical of what you'll find in a grocery store. But what I did is I found this little candle holder. I got this at Target. It wasn't that expensive. So I'm going to take the candle out and set that aside. And to give my stems a base to work in, I got some curly willow. And you can pretty much find this anywhere. This, unfortunately, was really dry and crispy. You want it fresh, hopefully, so that it's pliable. But I'm going to try to bend this around and get it into my jar. And that's going to give me a little bit of support for my stems. Ordinarily it would roll and twist. You wouldn't have it sound crunchy like that, but we're gonna make this work because this grocery store didn't have any. So I want you to see what is the worst case scenario. So I've crumbled it up, I put it in my vase here, my candle holder, and I'm just gonna add some water. And you can see that that has now taken up space in the jar, and that's gonna help support my stems. So what you want to do first is start with your filler flower. This is what is kind of fluff and gives you some base, makes it really easy to arrange the rest of the bouquet. And just start putting it in. I'm gonna cut my stems off. I'm just kind of snapping these off. Again, you can use a knife. I'm used to working with a knife. You can use clippers. You can just, some flowers will just break, but you know, a knife is good, and always try to cut at an angle, whether it's clippers or scissors. So I put my 4 pieces of filler in. And now I'm gonna take my flowers that have the thinnest stems, that are kind of like the more difficult stems to get into place because they're more delicate. And you don't have to put flowers in one by one. I'm actually gonna put these in a cluster. So I'm gonna put 5 in at once. So I'm just finding a spot where they'll all fit. So I've got those here, these little calla lilies, and then I've got a few more I'm going to put over on this side. And again, you're just looking for a spot in the vase that you can get your stems in easily. And now I have these, and I'm going to, you know, as I'm measuring, I'm looking for the height of the container, and I want to be about double the height of the container. So I'm cutting off a portion of it so that I can be about twice the height. So I'm going to add those in. And I've got another few more. Again, I'm cutting off enough so that my stems are about twice the height of the container. Put those in. And now my Gerber daisies. I'm going to add these. And I've got 3 of those, so I'm going to put 1 in the center, and then I'm going to put 1 over here. And you want to try to look at the stem. Like this one is sort of facing out, so that's going to go on the side. I want that to be to the side. And I'm just cutting it at an angle, adding it in, facing the direction that it naturally went. Like this one was almost going straight up, so he went in the middle. This one was going that way, he went over here. Now I have these roses left. They've already been stripped and cleaned, so I don't need to worry about that. They look pretty clean on the petals, so I'm just going to cut them. And again, you want to cut them, especially roses, cut them at a nice long angle. Try to get that so that you can have a long surface for the water to drink from. Even if you use clippers, you would do the same thing with clippers. Just cut it at a nice long angle so you can see that's where the water is going to go. Take off any leaves that might get into the water, and then just find a spot where you have a hole where there's, you know, turn your vase and see where you're needing a bloom and just add it in. There's no right or wrong to this, really. I mean, there's no wrong to it. It's all right. It all looks beautiful. So over here you can see like there's a little bit of a gap right here. So I'm going to put my rose in there. And as I look down at the top of this, I kind of see a hole right in here. So I'm going to add, if you can see right down into there, I'll put 1 in here. And now I've got 1 left. Last one, gotta make it count. So let's look and see where I think right here kind of has a gap. I'm gonna put him right there. So now I have this cute little bouquet. It's in a candle holder, and I still have the candle that it came with. So I'm just gonna take some tissue paper, get 2 or 3 sheets of it. I'm just going to set the candle in the center and pull up my corners. And I'm going to tie a ribbon around it. I'm tying a ribbon around it. And now I can give them both together as a gift. So I tied my bow. I'm cutting the corners. Remember, this ribbon kind of frays. So if you cut it at an angle, that'll keep it from fraying. And just take the corners of your tissue and kind of fluff it. And then when you give your little bouquet, you can give this and this together. And they've got their candle holder after the flowers die. And they've got their candle. And it's a beautiful gift that you actually got at the grocery store. And who wouldn't love that?